Hello YouTube, this is the first tutorial for MCreator. I'll be showing you the basically how to get everything all set up and stuff like that for creating your own textures, making professional mods. So today we will need to, let's just get rid of this. First thing you're going to need to do is get paint.net. Now there are websites here. I'll leave the exact link in the description because their links are a little, I don't know, there's like you click here and you see download over here, but sometimes you go, okay, well, click here, it's host, right? Well, it just brings you in a circle, right? I've done that so many times it's not even funny. But you'd click that and it would bring you here and you go free download, but I'll just link you to this page right here. Next, you're going to need WinRAR or 7-zip. I'll leave those in the description on YouTube. And this is a nice, useful website for Paint.net. It basically has plugins and stuff like that for Paint.net. It's handy if you need different things such as more rendering types or effects or stuff like that. You can search it up on here. So I'll leave this in the description as well. So the first thing you're going to need is WinRAR for this step. You're going to need to go to %appdata, just to make your life easier, you want to right click on your .minecraft and go send to desktop. Now you have a shortcut to your .minecraft folder, so you can just click on that and it'll pop up your .minecraft. You don't need to type in %appdata, you just need to double click on it. And you want to go to versions and then the version folder that's for Minecraft, the recent update, and right click on, if you're using WinRAR, you want to right click on it on your jar, go open with, and then WinRAR. Now they have changed some things since the last video I did for this. This is why I'm redoing it, making it all HD, because there are some problems with communication and stuff like that. In your jar, your Minecraft jar, you want to go to Assets, your Minecraft, Textures, and there are a few things you're going to need here. So create a folder on your desktop called Textures, or whatever you want to call it, where you're going to store these textures. Open that up, and you want to drag over blocks. You want to drag over entities and items. Now you want to go to models and drag over armor, and you're done. You can close out of all this. Now you have your, after you install Paint.net, you're going to have these two things right here and your shortcut. We don't need the shortcut anymore at the moment. I'm going to walk you through some of the basic tools and stuff like that, just what you need to know about Paint.net. So open Paint.net. Okay, so you have your hotbar up here, file, edit, image, etc., etc. So this is your toolbar. If you don't have all your windows like this, you want to go to Window and then reset thing. So what was it? Reset window location. So if you have, say, all your tools like this, or windows, and you want them all back to the same location, just hit that and they all go to their recording location. Get an image from the internet so I can explain some stuff to you. Images. Okay, so we have our image. Now there's a number of things you can do with this. First thing we're going to cover are our tools. Our selection tools are, this is your square selection, your circular selection. You can draw a selection with this tool right here. An area selection, so if you wanted to select an area, I don't know if it's going to do it properly, or because it is many colors. Yeah, it's thinking. I probably just froze the program. Yep, not responding. Just give it a second. Basically, you'll select an area with that shade of color. I have to wait for it to stop responding now. Let's just open up Paint.net again, close program. So open up Paint.net, and paste back the thing, expand. So our pan tools, this one, we're not zoomed in far enough, so our pan tool is basically just to pan around the area. Zoom tools here, so you can zoom in on certain things. If you have a selection, such as a square selection, and say you want this tree here, but you select too big, you can click on the white cursor with the arrow, and you can select the corner pieces, and you can drag your selection. This one will basically move your whole selection. It's not great if you don't have a transparent image, because it'll move that whole area. You can add text, but you know you're not going to use a lot of text. This is your brush tool. I'm going to adjust the brush size. So this is your brush size up here. Pencil. If we go back to brush, there's this one. This is, by default, it will have a blurry effect. If we zoom in, you can kind of see it's pixelized and different shades around. Now, if we go and click on this one right here, it'll now be a solid without any blur around the edges. It's handy if you're doing a lot of work with the paint bucket, which is this one, what we're going to cover next. If we have an area like that and you want to fill it in, then you can fill in your whole selection with whatever color you want. So that's about it with the things you'll be using for your mods and stuff like that for your tools. Let's move on to your colors, your color window. By default, it is just a square box. You can click more and you'll get more different shades of the colors and neutrals and grays and stuff like that. If you click on any one of these, you can notice that you have all this right here. I'm going to cover from the top. H equals hue. So hue is the shade or the value of the color. So right along here is what your hue is, but it's only selecting certain colors. With this, you can make custom colors and choose your own hue. Say, let's use orange. It's a pretty good example right there. If you want your color lighter, you adjust your S under your HSV, and it will add white to your color. If you want to darken it, you use the V spectrum and it will darken it. To make your image or your color transparent, you can adjust your transparency alpha. So if you bring it down, you can also type in any of these. So if you want a specific color, you can type in like that, and it will automatically change it to 100. So let's make a selection and I'll show you what it does. It just basically overlays a small color. It's not the best tool to change a lot of color, because if you adjust it to say like 200, or let's go 175, and let's do that area again, you can hardly see the background now because it's darker. So pixels will disintegrate with as the darker you get it. That's about it for the colors. So let's move on to layers. So if you have, say, okay, let's take this rock for example. These rocks right here. Let's copy that. Let's make a new one. New window. And your windows are located up here if you're just wondering. So with our area select tool, I'm going to bring down the value of its selection a little bit more actually. Deselect a little more up. Alright, need to zoom in more on this rock right here. So we have a rock. I'm just tidying this up a little. So now we have a transparent image. And we have our basic image. Now, say I want to add a rock right here. But when I take this transparent image and place it here, it copies the whole transparent image. So it gets rid of the texture behind it. That's where layers come in. So we go to our layers window, we add a layer, and now we paste our image, and now we can add our rock there. So, and to merge the images, always merge your images after, because it won't save it as a PNG. So to merge it, you go merge layer down, and then it will make it one solid image. So now this is part of the image below. To add a new layer, you just click on this one, and if you have multiple layers and you want to move it down like that, you can. And say I have a black background, so okay, so we have a black background. Our image is on top. Move that down. Now we have a black thing. It's handy if you are okay. Let's take this image again, for example. Let's add a new layer. 1 second. Where's the paint bucket? There we go. Oop. New layer. Okay, so we have that. Now if we move this layer up, because it's transparent, we can find the pixels that we missed to delete better. We just select them and delete, and it won't affect our background. So like that. And if you don't want it, you just hit the delete button. And now we have a clean image. What I'm going to cover next is we covered layers and stuff like that. If you have a rock such as this, or any image, and you want to flip it, there's a tool that can do that for you. So you want to make a new window, paste the selection that you want to flip, go to image, and then flip that way or whatever way you want. There are a few ways. You can flip it upside down or flip it the opposite side depending on what you want. So now we flipped it, we can add it to this side. So there we go. We have a rock that's exactly opposite from each other, besides that little part that's cut off. Okay, say you have a line, because I was working with a texture pack recently and I noticed that a lot of images such as flowers and stuff are not exactly straight. So if you have a line that's on a diagonal angle, what you will do is you want to go to layers and then zoom and rotate, or rotate and zoom, and from that you can turn your rotation so it's straight. You can zoom in or zoom out, and then click OK, and now you have a fairly straight line. Effects. I'm not going to cover over a lot of effects because most of them don't work with Minecraft that well on their 16:16 texture, but let's open up a texture we have from our files that we added. So let's see, thinking it's a pretty smooth texture. Let's do gold block. Okay, so we have our gold block. We zoom in. If you want to pixelize something but want to keep the same amount of pixels and like 16:16, not zoom in on the pixels and stuff like that, then you want to add noise. Now you can adjust the color solicitation, I think that's how it's pronounced, and then you adjust the amount of it. So now we have a fairly pixelized butter block. Go OK, and now, like, if I open up that photo again, and I'll compare both of them to you. So we have this one, and now we have that one. You can see it adds texture to it, which is handy. Adjustment, you can make it black and white. Some images call for black and white images, such as grass, vines, and some other ones. So black and white you'll need. Brightness and contrast is, you can adjust the lightness or darkness. It goes by black and white, not gray. Contrast is how much color there is. Goes by gray, I believe. Your hue and solicitation is, so this is your hue. You can adjust the color basically the same as your hue and your colors, but you're adjusting your whole image or your selection. So after we do that, let's cover solicitation. This is the amount of color there is in your image. So it'll basically add more color if you go to the right and less color to the left. If you want to make it a little darker or lighter, you can adjust the lightness. And I don't know, if you want to gray it down, it's easy to do it in your solicitation and your hue. Invert colors, you can invert it and it will take the opposite color of the color wheel and change it to that. So basically yellow, blue, and then if you notice that this is the lighter part right here, that's lighter, it's now darker here and here. So it basically changes the scale of the darkness as well. Yeah, that's about it. Effects, there's not much in effects that you'll need. If you want to sharpen an image, you can go to Photo and Sharpen. It doesn't work that well on Minecraft, though. Minecraft textures, because it is a small pixel rate. But yeah, that's about it for this tutorial. I'll leave the links in the description for the all these. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I will try to keep my videos up to date. If you like my videos, subscribe and rate them.